Good morning, I'm Albert, Faculty of Social Science, working with Silver Hills Public School, Parapadi, KOZHIKODE. Today in this session, I intend to discuss with you Chapter 4 of Class 7 Political Science, that is, Growing Up as Boys and Girls. Now, in this chapter, what we are going to discuss is sensitive, at the same time very socially upright. Since we are going to discuss the social and political implications of growing up as girls and boys or men and women, what are the gender differences in this country that people have been facing, how women have been sidelined, how women have been exploited, how they have not been given equal status. So, in this session or in this chapter, we are going to look into how women have been sidelined in the mainstream of the society, that you technically called the patriarchal society of India. Let us look further into it. Now, this is the first stage of a child. A child is born, a toddler, a child, a teenager, a woman, and finally an old woman. Here all the same case, it's a boy, toddler, child, boy, teenager, man, middle-aged man, adult, and then old age. So, this is the stages of life that we have in the classes of biology or the sessions with the growing up, physical growing up, we have dealt it in other subjects. Now, here we look into the social and political implications. Here, gender is biological distinction between male and female, the physical differences we are talking here. Now, here in this chapter explains inequalities and power relations. Here we are going to look into the inequality. What are the inequalities a girl or a woman faces in this society, in this patriarchal society, and the power relations. Most of the, when you say power relations, the decisions in the family, who takes? It's mostly men or father of the house or man of the house. Where same way in the society, all the gatherings, all the look into the political parties, all this while, how many women's prime ministers we have had in India? It's just one woman, that is Indira Gandhi. And now look into this, specifically look into the case of Kerala state. So far we never had a female CM. Okay, so these are the power relations we are going to look into. Okay. Differences in socialization and roles to play. Now, here the differences we are talking is socialization. What is socialization? Socialization is the process of making a child into a social product, in a way making a child to be fit to live in the society with the norms and rules of the society. Now, here we have to look into the roles to play. What are the roles that has been assigned to the children or the adults in the society, whether it is a male or female? There are differences. We can look into further as the chapter moves, but here for the time being, I am going to tell you the roles. What are the roles given to the woman or a girl or in the family? What are the roles? Taking care, nourishing, nurturing. Whereas the other responsibilities, the heavy responsibility, the economical responsibility is given to boys or men. But technically, in a practical life, we know both men and women are able to handle all the economical and political sides of life. But the patriarchal system has established the role for a woman or a girl is to take care of family and stay at home. That is where we are going to change this inequality that is prevalent in the society for many and many years. Here, introduction. Now, being a boy or a girl is an important part of one's identity. The society we grow up in teaches us what kind of behavior is acceptable for girl and boys, what boys and girls can or cannot do. Here we have a long list of things, what girls can do, what boys can do, and what girls cannot do, what girls are not supposed to do. Like, easy examples I can give you is girls cannot go out alone. They have to be under the wings of father or brother. They cannot go out, they cannot stay out for long, they cannot go to work. Even if they go to work, they have to be back on time. They cannot have a hangout of girls altogether. There are a lot of restrictions. The societal and family restrictions are so much for girls. So, as I am saying this, I am sure the girls in this class, those who are listening to me, are able to understand, are able to imbibe what I am trying to say, because this is happening in the society so silently, and it's an accepted norm. If a girl is stopped from doing something, it's okay. Whereas a boy is always pushed, no, you have to go, you have to do it. No, both the inspiration or the motivation for girls and boys have to be same. That is what we have to learn from this chapter. Now, roles women play and work they do are usually valued less. See, they are valued less than the roles men play and the work they do. When a girl scores top, girl is a topper in the school, it is commonly said, okay, she is free, she is sitting at home and studying. right? And whereas a boy becomes a topper, the responses are different. So these differences we have seen, and even in the families, maybe there are examples where what a girl do and what a boy do is valued differently by both the parents, mother and father, depends on the family system. Okay, now identity. What is identity? My identity as me is that I'm a man, I'm a boy, I'm so and so. The same way, identity is sense of self-awareness of one who he is. Okay. Now, in this chapter, we are going to look into, or we are trying to study everything through case study. Now, what is case study? Case study is a detailed study of a specific subject, such as a person, group, place, event, organization, or phenomena. Now, case studies are commonly used in social, educational, clinical and business research. Social, when we will be looking into social issues and how we analyze the social situations and we come up with solutions to solve the problem. The educational issues that has been faced in different schools or in the societies. Clinical is that is completely related to the medicine, okay, medical. It could be clinical psychology or it could be a clinical, the common clinical issues, okay. And then business research, how a business can be improved. So, case study is basically a detailed study of specific subject. In this chapter, we have two case studies. One is the case studies from the Pacific Island, that is Samoa, and the second case study is Madhya Pradesh, one of the schools in 1960s. We will look further. Okay. Samoa Island, it's island in Pacific Ocean. Now, since it's an island, it's understood the main source of income or main way of survival is by catching fish or survive by fish. Now, here children did not go to school in 1920. So, Pacific Island, how far it is from the mainland society, we can understand, and then the civilization reaching or the educational systems reaching there, it took long time. And in 1920s, children did not go to school at all. They did not value, even if there was a school, they didn't value much. Fishing was important activity. I already told it in the earlier phase. Most works were learned at home. So, now people were living by hand. So, in a society, in a community where everything you catch fish by hand, you survive by the activities that is done by hand. So, most of the works, be it weaving, cooking, fishing or planting coconut trees or anything, they were learning it at home. Boys joined for outdoor activity like fishing and planting coconuts. So, with the elders in the community or the society, boys joined, whereas girls here looked after the younger ones. See the difference here? So, this is it. So, a boy, he goes with these elders in the community to go for fishing and have outdoor activity, whatever, maybe planting coconut tree or what else, anything. But girls, they have to stay inside and they have to look after the younger ones. See, as I told you earlier, the nurture and nourishment of the family, right? Here, girls as teenagers went on fishing expeditions independently, weave baskets, cook at home. So, when the girls reach the age of teenager, they grow in size, they grow in age, and then they started going for fishing and started joining the outdoor activity, also started doing the independent works. Now, let us look into a place in India, that is Madhya Pradesh in 1960s. Here we see separate schools for boys and girls. Many of you might be aware about the famous schools that has been boys school and girls school, or the schools which are not co-educational. Now, the schools most of the schools that we are studying or we are working is co-educational, but in 1960s in Madhya Pradesh, most of the schools were separate schools for boys and girls. Total seclusion and safety from outside world. So, girls schools had complete seclusion. They were kept away from the outreach of reachability of other people, and then it was in the name or claim of safety from outside world. Okay, now we have to look into what is wrong with the outside world or what is the danger in the outside world. Central courtyard for girls. Now, girls had central courtyard, so they have to play within the boundaries, whereas boys had outdoor games. They had outdoor like football and other games. They could open playground for boys. Boys had open playground, whereas girls had closure. They were kept in closure, kind of central courtyard, and they had to be within the boundaries of the wall. Girls straight to home. After the school is over, girls walk towards home straight. No hanging out, no stopping, no talking, no chatting, or no going about. All the fear of being teased or attacked. This teased, eve teasing and being attacking, molestation and other criminal activities that has been feared, and that's why the girls were walking straight home. Here you can see from these two case studies, we see how girls' life is different, be it an island in Pacific Ocean or be it in the Indian subcontinent. right? See, look into the differences that status of the or privileges where boys can play in the open ground, but girls cannot play in the open ground. They have to be in the boundaries, and once the school is over, they have to walk home straight because there is always a fear. Now here this is a picture of children playing. They are happy. Here you see there is a boy, there are other girls. They are happy together. They are supposed to grow up together. But some society has created this division, boys separately and girls separately. Now we look into further. Where this starts, where this distinction or the discrimination has started. Like when we look into where is the root, what is the root? The root ever since the birth of the societies. Like when you see at an early age, when the moment a boy is born, a girl is born, you know, the people come to visit. How do they come to visit? They come with a kind of toys for girls, separate toys for boys and things like that. And then with the distinct of roles to play, how you know, telling girls to be like mother, like grandmother, and telling boys to be like father, and you know, the masculine thing has to be built up by him. So there's a push, the role is pushed in, and then boys given cars, girls given dolls. So girls sit in a corner and play with the doll, whereas boys with the cars, they run around and play. See the difference. So the children are, you know, a very early stage, even very first day of the birth, they are given this kind of roles pushed into their mind, and the norms and the societal discrimination is set. Now with colors, boys associated with blue and girls with pink. Now you know the pink umbrella, pink bag for girls, whereas when it comes to, you know, the dark colors like blue, green for boys and things like that. Okay, now here differences occur. What are the differences occur? One is in dresses, like the dressings, okay, the different kind of frocks and skirt for girls, boys it is shorts or a pant and things like that. Talking. There are ways boys, they are told to talk in a different way, whereas girls, they are hushed. A girl says something, it's the first hush, shh, you can't say that. And that's a very good example. You can realize that girls are made to sit in a particular way, right? And then games. When it comes to choosing a game, a girl wants to play an outdoor game, there's always a restriction. No, you cannot play. Whereas boys, okay, you play, you come back by 7, you come back by 6 in the evening, or you come back late, or you go for an indoor game that is being played at night, it's okay. Whereas girls, no, you cannot play. You have to be restricted to the indoor games or indoor house games with a doll or with some kind of cards and things like that. Subjects to choose, okay, when it comes to education. Now, when you look into the case in India, how many female engineers we have, how many female pilots we have, how many female army personnel we have? Very few. Why? Because they are not allowed to study. In the society in India, in many of the communities, many of the families, when a girl wants to choose a subject, she is given, no, you have to go for arts. And the very fact is that you are getting married as soon as your studies are over. And many of that's a reality. So what happens? Girls are restricted from choosing a subject. So now what happens when you restrict a child or a girl child to choose a subject, you are being restricted, then what happens? Then there is no follow-up, there is no advancement. So when it comes to career, she is limited to choose a career. Either work in a school, either work in a bank, either work in as a clerk. No. Whereas the girl's dream could be something else. A girl wanted to be an engineer, a girl wanted to be a pilot, maybe because she was not allowed to choose the subjects accordingly. Later she has to make a career based on whatever career what the subject she was made to study. So choosing a career is very important, but allowing a subject to study is also important. There are a lot of differences we can find in our Indian society. Same status is not enjoyed. It's true. That's from all these things we are discussing. There are many examples we can see that. We can see that the same status for a man or a woman or a girl or a boy is not given in Indian society. Valuing house chores. Right now, when you look into the house chores, I mean houseworks. A girl does it. It's kind of like it's your responsibility. Your mother does it. It's her responsibility. Your sister does it. It's her responsibility. Why not? The house works are not part of the job or the responsibility of father, son and the grandfather. No, they sit in the corner, whereas the women have to do the house chores, and it's devalued, like housework, caregiving, looking after family. I told you in the beginning as we started discussing and introducing this topic, this caregiving, nurturing and nourishing is a responsibility assigned to the girls silently. And of course there is a lot of force if they refuse to do that. That's how different society, you come across many of the cases that women have been attacked in the false framework of teaching them a lesson. Now here, looking after children, elderly and sick, This comes naturally and is never paid. Now, have you ever heard a mother being paid for the housework she does? Earlier she used to be called housewife. Now there is some change in the societal words they use, is at least they call her homemaker. But even in those only few words, never a mother works, like in this many of the posts that's come in Mother's Day and other places, we see mother is a woman and she works as a person like 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and never paid. Okay. Now here, and this the very worst thing is, it's society devalues this work. The society has no value. It's like somebody asking, you are sitting at home all day and what is the work you do? So no proper recognition is given, and that's the reality. This reality we have to change, because we have to value every work, every service that is provided by the female gender to the society, to the families. Now, this is an example, this is a graph that is taken. So, here we have the per week, 10 hours, 20, 30, 40 and 50, and this is 65, 75, 1985, 1995 and 2005. Here there are two graphs. So, the first one is, this is wives contributing to the taking care of the children, whereas the lower graph is the men, how much time husbands spend time to take care of the child at home. So, in 1965 it was very low. Up to 95 it has come little up, but in reality it is always the women who is taking it up, right? Yeah, so the question is the child the only responsibility, or caring for the child is only the responsibility of a woman or a mother? No, it is not. It is equal, right? So that is why the equality has to start. Like we say, charity begins at home, same way equality has to begin at home. So we want an equal society, everybody has equity of opportunity, boy and girl, a mother, male or female has the same opportunity. It has to start from families. Now, here is a picture of a woman. You look at her, though she is doing so much of it, her face is pleasant. In spite of dealing all this responsibility, she is appearing pleasant. She is taking care of a child there, she is handling the work, office work, she has a laptop there, she has notes here, she is cooking. At the same time, and she has 2 feet, but many this is an impression created of the the Devis we have in India with multiple hands. So here this multitasking, women do a good job, and this is a pictorial presentation. Okay. Domestic workers. Now, most of the domestic workers we have at home, who are they? It's mostly female. Now, what do? They are mainly women, sweeping and cleaning, washing clothes and dishes, cooking, looking after young children or elderly, and come to the point, low wages. Is there any maid who is paid lakhs per month, or is there any maid who is paid 25,000, 30,000, 40,000 per month? No. What is their salary? It's like 1,300, 1,500. That's a reality. Okay, hard work. But these works it's a tedious work. Daily sweeping, mopping, cleaning, cutting, cooking, and things like that. It's a tedious work. Heavy physical work. The heavy physical works they have to do. Some of the women have to fetch water. They have to walk kilometers to fetch water. The pictures that we have it from Rajasthan or many of the northern states, where literally women in villages, they walk kilometers, and who goes to fetch water is mostly women and girl children. Carry heavy loads of firewood, the interior areas in the forest areas where the communities they live, it's women mostly. They go around, cut those firewood, this twigs, and they carry it, and they carry it on their head. You might have seen in certain pictures. Stoves and strenuous and physically demanding. It's physically demanding, but then though it is physically demanding, the wages are very low, because the work what the women do and men do are not equally paid. That's the thing that is happening in the society. Now, here this is the picture of law. Let's look into it. This is the scale where woman and a man is looked under in the eyes of the law. They are equal. Okay, but technically are they equal? We say, like Article 15, it says you cannot discriminate anybody on the basis of gender or any other caste or anything. Now, do we discriminate gender on the basis of gender? And do we come across being punished for that? Very, very few, because most of the rules and most of the lawmakers and the law implementers are men. So that is where the inequality in law also can be seen in our country. Now, this is a double burden for working women. So, initially we said women are restricted, or girls are restricted to when it comes to choosing a subject, choosing a career. Now, by chance, if anybody becomes has a career, has a job, now this woman has to, the girl has to go for the job as well as taking care of the family affairs, family chores. Now you see work and equality. Equality is given in our constitution. It's given by, provided by the constitution. No discrimination should exist. Positive steps to remedy this. There are many steps that is taken. Burden of child care and falls on women and girls. Now, no matter what, burden of child care and housework falls on women and girls. Anganwadis are, many of the Anganwadis are established. Mandatory for organizations that have more than 30 women employees to provide crush facilities. So that is one initiative that has come from the government, okay, and making possible for more girls to attend school. So the female education, importance of female education, Beti Bachao Andolan. There are many schemes that have come from the side of the government in the name of policies and laws to improve the life conditions of women in this country. But we have many more miles to go in reality. Now this is a pictorial presentation of a working woman. This is a cartoon that came, and this was very much appreciated by Anand Mahindra, the CEO and the owner of Mahindra Motors. Well, if you look at it here, there's 3 women ready to race, there are 3 men ready to race. Now here the track before the men is very clear, there's nothing blocking, whereas for a woman, for women, you see that they have to do the house chores, they have to cook, they cut, they clean, they iron, they dry the clothes, they wash the clothes, no matter, all the family responsibilities, and it goes on. So when the challenge, when you look into the challenge of corporate world or working world or career, women have more struggle than men. Men gets an easy track, whereas women have a lot of difficulties faced. So this is the reality of Indian society. So learning by learning this chapter, we have to realize that how the differences are there. What are the societal norms that has been created to differentiate between a boy and a girl, and how it is reflected. Now, starting from career, going to study, going to colleges or a technical education, many of the women are not entertained to take up these jobs or any kind of careers, these subjects to study, and that's a reality. So as we discussed all the differences between growing up as a boy and girl, where did it start? It is for us to realize, for each boy, each girl listening to this class, is to realize we have to create equal opportunity for every girl and every boy in this society. We have to clear these obstacles for them. Now we clear these obstacles for them, or we distribute the obstacles. You face the same, and then what happens? We have a better society. So I am concluding my class, and power to every girl, every woman who is listening to my class. Thank you.